I grew up boxing, so a lot of people don't know that. I was an amateur boxer, and I trained preparing for the Olympics, right? The goal was to go to the Olympics in 2008. It had some fights leading up to, so it was February of 2008. So literally, like, we just had the anniversary. Preparing for the Olympics, preparing in boxing, running one night, and I hurt my left knee. And I remember thinking, like, oh shit, this is not good. This feels very abnormal, right? Like, very strong pain. So I eventually connect to an orthopedic surgeon, and this orthopedic tells me, I can get you in there for surgery. I can have you back out there in no time. You're going to be, back preparing for the Olympic trials in a blink of an eye. I'm like, all right, great. Let's do this. I remember my family was very worried, like very concerned. Like, you never had surgery before, maybe not a good idea. But I was very focused on having this surgery. So we end up scheduling the surgery. It's supposed to be like an arthroscopic surgery. They can go in and fix my left knee. Doctor, pulls me aside, says everything's going to be fine. Just pretend like you're going to sleep in Hawaii, and when you wake up, it'll all be over. So go through the surgery. I wake up after. This is like the short version because I don't want to be too long-winded.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Most people are, and then
no, I'm going to try to keep it shorter.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
My producer
and the whole team.
It.
The whole team.
Yeah. Rudy, she's falling asleep over there.
Okay, well, it's about to get good. Here it comes. So I wake up and I reach down to my left knee because I'm expecting that my left knee is going to be fixed, right? I'm like, okay, I've been waiting for weeks now. I'm like trying to get this thing fixed. There's nothing on my left knee.
What do you mean?
There's nothing. There's no wrap. There's no gauze. There's no ice. There's nothing.
Oh my God.
But I feel a throbbing on my right side.
I knew you were going to fucking say that.
So when I reach over to my right side, my right knee is wrapped up in ice, and the doctor would operate on the right knee instead of the left knee.
What a fucking moron.
And it changed my life forever. So I think that's a pretty good story.
I have a lot of questions. Hold on.
Yeah.
So then what happened? Were you like, excuse me, like...
Well, so I remember originally being like, because I'm just coming to from being under anesthesia, right? So it's like kind of a weird space to be in mentally. And I remember thinking, like, am I in a dream? Like, what's happening right now? This is very strange. And then when it finally hit me, I was really angry first because I was expecting to go back and start training again. I wanted to go back into boxing and fighting and trying to prepare for the Olympic trials. So I was really angry. There's a lot of anger. And I remember the nurse came in, like, she ended up being a really nice woman. And
so you first told the nurse, like, hey,
yeah, she was the first person I saw.
So he didn't figure it out at all? Like, even when he got in there?
Eventually. Oh, no. So everyone always asks that question. Like, how come he got in there and he didn't know? So there's just like natural wear and tear, and just started pulling stuff out of my good knee. And yeah, I remember telling the nurse, like, you guys operate on the wrong fucking knee.
And did the doctor come in?
Eventually.
And what the fuck did he say?
No excuse. I mean, there's no excuse, right? What can you say in a situation like that?
So did it fuck up your right knee?
Yes. So my right knee is still, I have like an issue with my kneecap, and like my right knee my whole right leg really never fully recovered, which is kind of crazy because we're 16 years removed. I've, worked this thing out. I've gone to the gym. I've tried to build it back, but it'll shake, and, the atrophy, I never came back from the atrophy.
I'm so sorry. This must have been so traumatic. And
it was a little traumatic.
So then there was no point in even trying to fix the left.
Yeah. So at that point, the doctor told me that my right leg atrophied more than if I would have had an ACL tear. So by the time, like, my window closed, like the Olympic trials, all that came to an end.
So did you hire, I know medical malpractice is tough in California, but it is, right? Tough in California?
It is tough.
Did you?
But you really can't lose this case.
No, so what happened? Who did you hire? Oh my God.
So I hired 2 attorneys that represented me in California.
Who are they?
Probably, I don't think that you know either of them. Dan Hodes and Sean Burke. They represented me jointly. And so that's what opened up my eyes to law. I'd never had any experience with law before. I'd never met I'm sure I'd met attorneys, but I didn't have any attorneys in my family. I don't come from, his family with like judges or anything like that. I was represented by these two attorneys, and they opened up my eyes to what law can do for people that are harmed. And
That's crazy.
through that process, I just became more and more passionate about it. And I knew this is what I wanted to do.
It killed one dream, but started another one.
Kind of,
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And it was like maybe meant to be.
I've always had a hard time saying that because I feel like it was such a colossal failure that it's a weird thing to say, like, it's meant to be or it should have happened. So I don't think that, but I'm a firm believer in taking the challenges and the punches we don't see coming in life to go, the boxing route.
Yeah.
To take the punches we don't see coming and to try to turn those into the best things possible. So I'm all about silver linings. I'm all about, okay, how can I take this challenge, allow it to make me better, right? What can I glean from this? What can I gain from this experience to make me a better version of myself? So that's what I ran with. And now when I talk to clients, that's really helpful because I can
so empathetic.
100%. I can tell them like I've been, in something similar to this. I will say, for anyone of the 5 people that listen to this, because
and so 4 if we
right.
deduct you.
Exactly.
Right. Okay.
There's one lesson that Grayson Goody has taught me many things, but Grayson taught me one really important lesson early on, and that was when we were talking about my situation and how to connect to clients. And he said, I want to try to help you tweak something. And it's not about you understanding what they are going through or what they've gone through, your clients, because you're never going to know what your clients have gone through. You have an experience that's similar that allows you to connect to them, but don't say you know what your clients are going through. So I'm always really mindful of not saying like, oh, I've got an experience that was just like, my client, right? Because I don't know. I have no idea what my clients are going through. I have an idea of what I went through and it's similar. And it helps inform kind of the way that I connect to clients, but ultimately.
That's a really cool story. It lived up to it.
If there's one thing that I can take away from this experience and what I went through, it's empathy and being able to connect to not only my clients, but so on that note, right? Like, I think it's far more important to apply it to our lives in general. So for me, it's not about just being empathetic with a potential client or my client. It's about being empathetic with everyone that I meet, right? If I can share empathy and get to know people genuinely, I just feel like, how much better does that make life?
And you are very empathetic after hearing your dating stories yesterday.
Wow. I didn't think we were going to go there. I thought we were saving that for the after hours session.
We can cut this part if you want.
Yeah.
It's too funny though.
Yeah.
You are like super nice.
I think it's important. So, I think that there's something to be said about taking those experiences, taking those challenges in life and allowing them to make you a better version of yourself. But also, like you said, like, don't let that be your full identity. I'm not Robbie Munoz, the wrong knee operation guy, right? Like, many people have forgotten that story. Frankly, it's 16 years ago, February 15th, 2008. So that's not who I am. But I've taken that experience and I think that I've allowed it to create some new layers to who I am as a human being. And I think that as trial attorneys and as plaintiff attorneys, that has to be a practice that we're in, right? We have to constantly try to find whatever experiences allow us to connect to our clients.
I love that.
If you can do that and you can connect that to the jury, that's where things start to get really special.
That's amazing. That was a really neat story.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that.
You're very welcome.